and just wanted to put up a short vlog for you today to talk about pay to play. Now, when I worked in government, that was a pretty common term that we heard, where people like contractors, whether it was construction contractors or like garbage contractors, for example, would sort of like give kickbacks or incentive or not really get the jobs legitimately that they were after. And New Jersey is one of the places notorious for it. So I was more than a little annoyed to see Neil Gaiman tweet something this morning. I guess he tweeted it last night, and it upset a lot of people today once they saw it, where he says, clarion.ucsd.edu is where you apply to go to Clarion. If you want to be a writer, you want to go to Clarion. Need to go to Clarion. Well, a lot of people got in this case about that, saying, that people don't need to do anything if they want to be a writer. You just have to write. And, that makes a whole lot of sense. But from being in comics for just a couple of years and trying to publish my own novels, what I've seen is pay to play. So let me explain what the kinds of things that I've seen. First of all, I've seen people, specifically in comics, you need to be able to afford to pay your creative team. Okay? If you can't, you do something like run a Kickstarter. Kickstarter takes a lot of time, so a lot of people can't really put time into that because it's a full-time job, from what I've been told from several people who've done Kickstarters. And check my interviews on Vodka O'Clock. I've interviewed a lot of people who have done them. It is a second full-time job, and you're still talking about making your creative product, getting it out on time, taking care of whatever you have in your personal life, and your regular job if you have one. So then there are a lot of common problems with Kickstarters or other crowdfunding where you haven't raised quite enough, so you need to shell out the rest from your own pocket. A lot of people, especially if they start running late, do that because they don't want to ask anybody for more money. So again, pay to play. Then there are also things like Kickstarter rewards, where a reward might be to get your portfolio or a script reviewed by somebody really influential. And again, some of those rewards are at like the $200 or $300 level. How many people can do that? So it gives you an in. The money gets you an in. Same thing with taking workshops. I loved Comics Experience. It was one of the best times I ever had. But there's a monthly fee to that. There's a fee for all of those classes, regardless of how, they vary in length, how many days they are. And again, it's an investment as to taking time away from whatever you were doing, time away from your family or time away from your job, in order to put the time into that education. So, again, when you pay to do that, you start meeting really influential people in that business. And I've seen it. I've seen a lot of it where it's like, oh, suddenly your friends and socializing, going to dinner with so-and-so from that publisher. It's like obvious that it's somehow was because of money. Travel to conventions costs a whole lot of money. And getting your book printed so that you can pay for booth space costs a whole lot of money. So I don't understand why somebody like Neil Gaiman, and of course his wife Amanda Palmer is notorious for this, forgets that it is the money that, and not always just the talent, that gets people to success. Now, of course talent is going to play a big part, but again, you need to have that sort of advantage. And when Amanda Palmer came out with her book, The Art of Asking, I listened to her TED Talk, and I'm like, okay, I really like some of the things that she says, but she's also speaking from this like powerful world of privilege where, she and Gaiman and people like them, people spend hundreds of dollars on tickets just to see them for an evening, whether it's some kind of like reading from their book, or, dinner with Gaiman that they do, I think, at Comic-Con and stuff like that. Hundreds of dollars per ticket. And that's not even counting the fact that their travel expenses are covered. And they're already bestsellers. Amanda Palmer's book was like the first book on Twitter to be directly ordered through that platform. Instant bestseller. So they're making plenty of money. So to say something like, you need to take this 6-week course at this college out in friggin' California in order to be a writer, it's nonsense. And don't listen to that. He then backpedaled, I want to say. After the backlash, he tried to backpedal, saying, oh, it was hyperbole, and obviously there are more places than Clarion and Clarion West. Well, whatever. The point is, if you have the money to network and go to these things, and to then also improve your skills, because workshops are great. I love them. I love taking classes. I'm one of those kind of idiots that just like, I don't mind sitting in class. I love it. Those things cost money, okay? So don't say that, oh, it's, you just go and, write your book and then you're instantly a writer. It's like, no, I mean, I have to do all of this work myself. I am very open about people that have helped me along the way. I talk about the cover art or people helping me find my typos because there's a gazillion of them. These these things would be easier if I had a ton of money. Then I would have contracts with people and I would be able to just go on to any of the platforms, because there's a ton of them out there, for finding editors and finding proofreaders and finding people who know how to do the layout, so I don't have to sit here and struggle for 3 days trying to get files to upload. There are professionals who do that. I'm doing this myself. So, other than the people who have volunteered to help me with some of these other tasks, this would be a whole lot smoother if I had 10 grand to throw at it, but I don't. And I'm not going to have like a great big huge stock of books to give away. So I just get really annoyed when I see things like that tweet. And I want to know your thoughts, because yes, the only thing you need to be a writer is to write, but that doesn't mean anybody else is going to ever read your work. So if being a writer is defined by the ability for people to read what you've written, then I don't know what to say about that. Thank goodness for the internet now, where we can just put stuff up on blogs and it doesn't cost all that much. My hosting is, not free, so I do pay for that every single year. That just went through. And, when I go to conventions, I'm at the very least paying for gas and parking and tolls, that kind of thing, even if I get my ticket comped. So pay to play is very real. It is not something to be ignored by the privileged rich people of the world. And I would love to hear your thoughts. So that's all I really had to babble about today. And thanks for watching and listening, and thanks for supporting at patreon.com/overallmath.